Welcome, everyone. So we're diving deep today using some really insightful material you shared with us. It's all focused on learning new skills, especially when life, throws those curveballs.
Exactly. And it's not just about career advancement in the typical sense. The sources really stress how vital this is for navigating big life changes.
Right. Things like job losses, maybe a business not working out, or just keeping up with all the tech changes happening around us, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, all those pressures are very real. And the material acknowledges that facing these changes, needing to learn something new, it can feel, well, pretty daunting.
Daunting, yeah, or just overwhelming. It's easy to feel stuck, maybe a bit scared even. And this fear, the fear around learning itself, that's something the sources really get into, isn't it?
It really is. It's a common roadblock. The material points to specific fears. Fear of failing, naturally. Fear of the unknown. You mentioned tech. That's a big one. And also just fear about finding the time.
That time thing is huge for so many people.
It is. But what's interesting is the idea presented that actually the act of learning can be the antidote to the fear. Like by stepping into it, you start to break down those anxieties.
Actively challenging the fear by doing the thing you're afraid of. Makes sense.
And there's even a quote used from 2 Timothy 1:7. It says, "For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control."
Okay, so connecting it to a kind of inner strength, a capacity we already have to move past being overwhelmed.
Precisely. It reframes it. And then comes the practical bit. The advice to just, start small. Don't try to conquer the world on day one.
Yeah, that's reassuring. No need for a massive life overhaul immediately. Small steps.
Exactly. And the sources bring this to life with some really compelling stories, case studies of people using learning to navigate these exact kinds of transition.
Okay, let's hear about them. Like Jake. He was 22, just out of college, facing rejection.
Right. Jake's story is a great example. Hit a wall with job applications after graduating. Confidence took a knock. So what did he do? He pivoted.
How so?
He jumped into online courses for coding and web development. Completely new area for him, apparently.
Oh, okay.
And the result? Within 6 months, he landed a job as a junior developer. It shows how learning can, literally open doors you didn't even know were there.
Creates options when you feel like you have none. Okay,
yeah.
what about Emily? She was 30, facing a career change after a layoff.
Yes, Emily's situation laid off after 8 years as a marketing assistant. That's a significant disruption.
Definitely. 8 years is a long time.
But she decided to learn graphic design, again, using online resources. She put in the work, built a portfolio from scratch.
Yeah.
And now she's working as a freelance designer, running her own business even. It
Right.
really highlights that it's never really too late to switch gears if you're willing to learn.
Taking control of your career path,
Yeah.
basically. And it's not just about younger people, right?
Yeah.
The sources mentioned George, who was 60, retired.
George's story is fantastic. Retired from education, felt disconnected from technology, which I think a lot of people can relate to.
I can imagine. So what did he do?
He started simple, enrolled in a basic computer class at the local library.
Okay, a very practical first step.
Exactly. But it didn't stop there. He got really into it, became the sort of tech guru for his friends and community, and even started an online blog for seniors.
No way. That's brilliant. So learning in retirement led to a whole new role, a new sense of purpose.
Absolutely. It completely counters that idea that you stop learning at a certain age. It shows learning can bring fulfillment, new opportunities, anytime.
Really powerful. Okay, there was also Lisa, the small business owner, dealing with the pandemic's impact.
Yes, Lisa had a physical clothing store. The pandemic forced her to close it down, a really tough situation.
Devastating for so many businesses.
It was. But she didn't give up. She threw herself into learning everything about building an online store, e-commerce, social media marketing, the whole 9 yards.
So she pivoted online.
She did. And not only did it keep her business alive, but her sales actually increased. She reached a much broader audience online than she ever had with the physical store.
Wow. So the new skills didn't just help her survive, they helped her thrive in a new way. Adaptability is key.
That's the core lesson there. Adaptability fueled by new skills.
And the last one, Carlos, the college student, wanted to start a YouTube channel.
Right, Carlos. 20 years old, had this dream, but was held back by, the classic fear of failure, fear of putting himself out there.
Understandable. Creating content can feel very vulnerable.
Totally. But he decided to just teach himself, learned video editing, figured out how YouTube works, and crucially, he was consistent.
Right?
kept posting content regularly.
And did it work out?
Yeah, it did. He built up a significant subscriber base, started monetizing his channel. His story really drives home that point about starting small, being consistent, and pushing through those initial hurdles.
These are all such great illustrations of the core idea.
Yeah.
And underlying all this action, the sources talk about mindset, right? Cultivating courage.
Yes, exactly. It's not just about the how-to, but also the how to think. The material suggests using daily affirmations specifically focused on building courage for learning.
Okay. Like positive self-talk to counter the fear.
Pretty much. They're designed to reshape that internal narrative. Should we maybe share them?
Yeah, let's do that. Listeners might find these useful. The first one is, I am capable of learning anything I set my mind to.
Then there's I embrace change, knowing it leads to growth.
This one feels very relevant. Every challenge is an opportunity to develop new skills.
And I trust that God is guiding me through every step of this journey. That connects back to the earlier quote.
And finally, I am strong, resilient, and equipped for success. Saying these things, even if you don't fully believe them at first, can make a difference, can't it?
Psychologically, yes. They act like little mental anchors, reinforcing a more positive, capable view of yourself, especially when you're facing something new and maybe a bit scary.
Okay, so we've got the inspiration from the stories. We've got the mindset piece with the affirmations. What about the nuts and bolts, the practical steps to actually start learning something?
Right. The sources offer some very straightforward advice here. The first big one is just pick one skill to start with.
Don't try to boil the ocean.
Exactly. Focus on the skill that seems like it will have the biggest impact or solve the most pressing problem right now. Keep it manageable.
Makes sense. And then?
Break it down. Set small, achievable goals. So not just learn graphic design, but maybe complete the first module of this online course or design one social media post this week.
Okay, concrete mini steps. That feels doable.
And importantly, use the free resources out there. There's so much available YouTube tutorials, free introductory courses on platforms like Coursera or edX, local library workshops, community classes.
So cost doesn't have to be a barrier, at least not initially.
Not at all for many skills. Another suggestion is to find a learning partner or a buddy.
Accountability.
Yeah, partly accountability, but also just having someone to share the journey with, bounce ideas off, maybe struggle through things together. It can make it less isolating and more fun.
That sounds helpful.
Yeah.
And the last practical tip.
Track your progress. Write down your goals. Maybe keep a simple journal of what you're learning. And this is key. Celebrate the small wins along the way. Acknowledge how far you've come.
Yeah, recognizing that progress, however small, can really keep you motivated. Okay, this provides a really solid roadmap.
It does, and it all leads up to a question the sources pose directly to the listener.
Right. So for everyone listening, the question is, what new skill are you learning right now? Or what new skill would you like to learn? It's an invitation to think about this personally.
Take these ideas, these stories, and see how they might apply to your own life, your own situation. What's that one thing calling to you?
So if we pull it all together, the big message seems to be that learning isn't just for school or for a certain age. It's a lifelong thing that helps us adapt and maybe discover things about ourselves.
It really is presented as a continuous journey, a key to resilience and capability. And the sources really emphasize that taking that first step, no matter how tiny it feels, is huge.
Getting over that initial hump.
Precisely, starting that momentum.
So we encourage you to think about that question. What skill is it for you? Maybe even share it with someone, like the sources suggest. Start that conversation.
Yeah, because ultimately, as the material concludes, it's about staying courageous, keeping that learning mindset active, and knowing that this path of growth, it just keeps going.
Which leaves us with a final thought to ponder. In a world that's always changing, maybe learning isn't just about keeping up. Maybe it's actually how we actively create our future, unlocking possibilities we can't even imagine yet.